Hello, how are you? Camera. Oh, thank you so much for tapping in, tuning in with me. Hi, I'm on camera. Yeah, I know, right? Welcome. Thank you so much for meeting me here. So, I did write things down, but intentions the babbler is I, and so who knows where this is gonna go and what we're going to dive in and explore. But I do want to thank you for being here with me. Um, yeah. I don't know, I was looking at some of my older videos and my own evolution here on my YouTube channel because part of my journey is like kind of like a documentation. Like, so I'm not allowed to delete, and even if I put something in private for a little while just for me to get over myself, um, I'm not allowed to delete because it's for me to see too. And that's part of it too. Like a lot of you that happen, tune in with me. You are expressionist in your own way. Like you're a creator. You're an expressionist. You're an artist. You're a beautiful soul here, having exploring your own journey and coming undone. Right? You're coming into the sense of yourself, and that has a lot of voice. That has a lot of um, greatness, to that. You are unique in all that you are here to do when you find that truth in you to speak that which is yours, right? Anyways, where was I going with all of that? So there's a lot before I even go dive in and start babbling, right? Um, I do have some stuff to talk about, share or announce or whatever the case may be, just updates, about everything. So by now, when you watch this, you should have already been alerted or made known, and it's being shared now about my new vlog adventure, which I am really excited about. Vlog one is kind of like just an intro into my day, all mixed up in its own no particular order type of thing. But as I continue to vlog, right, and 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 have them in episodes, right? I still don't know where it's all going and stuff like that, but I do see me coming more undone. And then, like, so I was watching some of my older videos, right? I think these older videos, I never really watched back because I wasn't there with myself. I wasn't comfortable in my own skin to record. Not saying that I wasn't comfortable in my skin, but when it came to recording, it was something that I fought against, right? And so and I even used to do the screen yellow and all this kind of stuff because that's just how it be. And so and then now, right, I'm like, this vlog, it's personal because, especially me, for those of you that may not know, like, you don't know me, like, whatever, but I'm very proud of it. And it's a privilege to know my fucking information. Like, that's how we have to see it, and that's where I want to help you get to too, if you don't feel that way about yourself, right? Like, if you overshare and everybody knows your business out there and stuff like that, that's just like, for those of you tapped in, tuned in with me, you're realizing, oh my gosh, I need to zip it on a lot of things, right? Because not everybody has the best energy towards you. And it doesn't mean that it's always malicious. Sometimes it's just where people the fuck are at, and they don't know how to hold space for you in a way that is healthy, wealthy, or stealthy, or even just a happy one. Like, if you can't be happy for someone, be neutral. But in this day and age, people, if they can't be happy for you, then instead of being neutral, they get envious or jealous or whatever the case may be, however it is that happens for you and stuff like that. Or you might find yourself on the spectrum of feeling that way towards other people, which I hope you don't, because this is then you come to the right place too, because the energy here, the alchemy here, is to help you fix that inner deep layer that's within your shrine that keeps you out of that that harmony sublime, right? To help you to alchemize and to full align so that you don't have to feel that way about other people either. You know what I'm saying? Even if I trigger you, even if the channel, if there's topics and stuff that I speak about or that I say and it rubs you the wrong way, if the shoe fits, baby, wear it. Hold it. Hold a space for it. Meet it. Greet it. Salute it if you must. And if it's something that is not for you, that you want, then you are the one that has the power to do something about it. Period. Point blank. It's about getting yourself into that space, in that place that's going to solutionize for you, right? You're about your revolution, but now you need a solution. So it's living in that solution space, right? Either way, where was I going with all of that? So right, so my vlog, I'm really excited about it. It's Enchantress the Babbler's Mystic Muse vlog, and there's so many episodes. I know that I only shared the one. By the time you see this, one would have been shared, but that's the joy of it. Like, I have all these episodes that I am looking forward. Like, before, it was a fight. And it's like, no, I don't want to post this. Like, to even hit post on certain kind of things, and because I don't edit and do all these kind of things, I felt like at a disadvantage. And I was trying to just make do with what I had and the tools that I had. And I was like, it's not about that. It's not about being showsman. That's why that was. Oh my goodness. I don't even know where I was at anymore. But yeah, so my vlog, right? So it's I see the path of like of my own stripping. That's what it feels like. The stripping. It's stripperella. 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 Is she here now? Is she naked? Let me hear the Queen of Pentacles, right? The Knight of Wands. So that could be like your energy, right? Like, you're passionate about you, as you should. And that's a wonderful place to be. Oh, Pisces moon is here. But yeah, hi baby. All right, I'm blocking you with all the cards. Okay, I made a passageway for you. But right, a passageway. There's a passageway. So yeah, so this vlog is another passageway. And the more that I keep on making these little episodes, I'm getting personal. And that's deep for me. And granted, maybe the first 2 episodes are not so personal. You're like, bitch, this ain't that personal. Because number 2 is dropping soon, and it was our trip to H Mark. You're like, what is so evolutionary about this trip? A lot of things, you'll see. But as I keep on, I think I'm ready in like episode 3 or 4. I'm crying hysterically. When am I not crying hysterically? That's the question. But anyway, right? So I'm just really excited about it. So of course, I'm going to talk about it. And that's the first thing I'm going to be saying up on the camera before I start babbling and whatever. And I was just thinking about the revolution of myself, right? And how I always start with poetry, because poetry is my home. Poetry is how I speak. poetry is my soul. Like, if you really think it's a joke or you think it's just how it be, nah, this is how I speak. Like, most of the times I'm rhyming. People always ask me, like, even strangers, they be like, you always rhyme when you speak. I'm like, I guess so. I don't know what to say, but that's just how it comes out. You know what I mean? So that's just the way it is. And no, so from being asked so much, it has brought the attention to myself to really acknowledge this side of myself. And it was like, oh shit, maybe I am just a poetess. Like, and that's just how it be. It's like just freestyle-licious, you know what I mean? And so it's always poetry. But when I started this YouTube channel, it was very, and I came on the scene poetically. And it's always been, and then the evolution of just like even myself, like, I guess I don't know why I'm sharing, but whatever. The evolution of myself, speaking in poetry, has always been what I didn't realize was like a safe haven, safe zone, because I'm silly anyways. It took a long time sometimes for what I felt like for people to take me seriously, because I'd be clowning around and I always got jokes and I'd be silly, and and if you don't change, and people don't see your serious side because you downplay everything, even the seriousness of life, like, humor has always been one of my go-to healing things, but it's also been my escape route. Like, how much can you clown around about serious shit? You know what I'm saying? Like, before actually, like, addressing it. You know what I'm saying? So part of me speaking on YouTube and stuff like that was start making, because when people would be like, oh, what does that mean? Like, when I write something creatively and stuff like that, my thing is poetry is open for interpretation. What do you think it means for you? And that's what's most important, right? The beauty of being able to dive. Don't worry about what it is for me. But most times when people read poetry, which I've learned, and this is also what can make you shy away and make you like stop sharing some of your stuff, is that people got questions, right? Oh, what made you draw this? What made you write this? Oh, wow, that's really dark. And then especially too, when I had my really dark poetry and I started sharing like those kind of poems, people would be like, oh, you need to get some help, or dude, this is fucking help. How dare you insult my fucking therapy? But I wasn't in any kind of position to speak up for myself in those kind of ways during those times. And it's just like, instead you shell away and you just like, whoa, 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 they're coming at me in which kind of way? And then you get defensive in that kind of way. And so thick shell of a hard shell, more we grow into these positions of suppression, oppression that get conditioned into our being, that before we know it, we become shells of our own existence. And it's just like, and then you get the raw. You got this Pluto, right? Pluto's up in here, really cleaning house. You ever used to watch Niecy Nash? I think that's her name, Clean House. I used to love that. Me and my ex-roommate, we used to watch Clean House, Intervention. But yeah, those would be my kind of shows that I was watching TV and stuff like that. So now I'm looking at myself. Hold up, guys. Self-check. I need to shut up because I start getting really passionate. This is okay to do, right? If not you, then who? If not now, then when, right? Right? The emperor, right? The emperor rules. I keep saying that. The world. Look at that. The emperor rules the world. So it's like acting, right? 21, 3, 3, 4. Some of you could be 21, some of you could be 24, 41, 42, to life path 3, life path 4, life path 2, life path 1, 2, right? So don't have to be, okay? But the emperor rules the world. The emperor rules the world. And so that's the position, the masculine part. This has nothing to do with gender, whether you're male or female. Emperor is in his masculinity, in his masculine energy, his yang energy. right? So what do you borrow from this? What do you mirror from this, from whatever you are, wherever you are, whatever position, stance that you are on, right? It's like, I am emperor acting how? How are you ruling? Right? How is this cleaning house? Right? So that's like with the vlog too. So like pieces of yourself that come into your awareness that maybe you missed. Maybe you didn't give a chance to, right? Because sometimes we're met with a lot of resistance, especially when we feel passionate about something, and then that could shut down our passions. If there's anything that I would love for you to feel when you come here, it's like, wow, this inspires me to, you fill in the blanks. You know what I mean? Somebody could have a birthday April 21, March 4th. Sorry. All right, so this is what you would say. Usually you hear me doing the cards and saying, okay, guys, I'm gonna pause, go blow my nose. This is what you want to see. We're like, go on camera. The Six of Pentacles, right? So the Six of Pentacles for the Queen of Pentacles. So this balancing act of your own divinity, right? Your own way of doing something, the solution, the right, the solution. I'm writing this down. The solution to your revolution. What does that look like, right? So there's so many different pockets of themes that come up, and we tackle each of these little themes like as they come up, like, you know, building on your self-esteem, building on your confidence, right? Building on your neuroscience, right? Brain hack. Ooh, what are you talking about? The very thing that feeds us too, right? Did you know that your brain uses more oxygen, right, than your muscles? And mind you, think about that. Think about the position of the brain. Think about how much muscle power we use, right? The Wheel of Fortune. We got the Wheel of Fortune too the other day. The Knight of Wands. The Wheel of Fortune in your in because there's Knight of Wands again coming out, right? And Six of Pentacles, in how you're receiving certain kind of things, like the sun energy too, right? So here you have the sun energy, right? The sun energy could be life path number 9, life path number 1. We said again, you could have been born in 1991, 1986, 1969, 1961. Don't have to be, just saying, right? So the wheel, it turns in your favor because passionate, you're beating alive, right? This Knight of Wands. I feel empowered, right? This yang, I have this fire for that which I desire to inspire. And so I am activated. I am charging because I received, right? Because usually before that, right, you have the page, there's a message, the message to the knight that ignites him to fire on bright, right? And it's just like, but look at the sun. You see that portal right there? You see that sun? Sun. Portal. right? You could be doing some sun meditations too, which is another way to like kind of like biohack your brain capacity, right? You want to supercharge your brain, right? We have the capacity to regenerate ourselves. We do. And so if you know this, right, you can hop on your cell bandwagon, right? Your cellular upgrades, your cellular molecular upgrades that are going to nourish you, right? So think about that, right? I was saying about the brain, right? And its capacity that to use so much oxygen from our entire vessel, more so than the activity that we do that we can see, that's tangible, because the brain exists in the layer of the invisible, the intangible, right? Although we know we have our brain inside our skull and stuff like that, we're not seeing it every single day. And so because we're not seeing it every single day, you have little to no focus on your brain and the power of that too, right? All our organs and all this kind of stuff. And I'm not taking away from any other organ that works in unison with our whole entire symbol, vessel, portal, shrine, this hive, right? And so I didn't even know I was going into all of this. But it is, right? Because it's about knowing that your body has this capacity to regenerate its own cells. It's doing it anyways. And now take your consciousness into that. Now take that visual, take that into that. Take now apply your science, that which you know, into your habits that you sow. So we're breaking conditionings, we're breaking spells, however you want to identify it with it. I know I speak as colorfully as can be, but we got spirit science up in here for every motherfucking thing. It's about reality check. Always we do. We don't leave things like to certain kind of like, oh, just because, like, that's what I was saying about the in the beginning, like with my poetry being an excuse for me to not explain myself in depth in ways that I was being asked to, and it was like a cop out. It was like, oh, what does the poem mean? Oh, interpret it for yourself. Instead of me, like, yeah, granted, it opens up a portal, a door for me to explore me some more and stuff like that, but avoiding the topic or avoiding the way that I was being divinely led to activate, to open up and stuff like that. The resistance that we meet from sharing ourselves, from being vulnerable, or from being honest, being really real. Everybody be like, well, I'm so real. No, the fuck you not. Let me ask you a couple of real questions and we'll see how honest you really be. Right? And it's just like asking ourselves those kind of questions too, you know? And well, anyways, so going back to the cellular, the consciousness of the position that we have, understanding the functions that operate in our bodies, like I was saying about our brain, you don't think about that. Wow, it's using up more oxygen than your muscles do, and yet you're only accrediting for all your everyday like living. Thank you legs, thank you arms, thank you extremities, all your extremities, thank you all this and stuff like that for getting me through another successful day that allows me to do that which I love, to do that which I do, to be able to support my fucking family, to do that which we must, right? Every single time. But like neuroscience is another form of science that is also helpful to, you don't have to understand every single thing, but to understand with your consciousness how this can really, really help you heal in different profound ways that are miraculous. Allow the miraculous to occur inside of you to the position that you have in your consciousness, your knowledge, your ability to empower yourself more positively, more effectively with solutions, as opposed to repeating the same cycle of complaint. Excuse me, this is the complaint department. What shall you complain about again today? Does it change the narrative in any kind of way? Or are you going to say the same thing over and over and over again and do nothing about it except complain? So here's that portal, right? And it's like, passionate be my wave. But what are you passionate about? What are you passionate about? I asked myself first before I even asked you. It's good. We're exploring, right? But look at these cards, right? Because you have the passion going into this portal. The sun be you, the light be you, right? And so you have this time that you're activating, you're connecting, you're responding, right? To all the info, right? That's coming from your brain wave activity, because that's also your blood flow. Your blood flow. Your blood flow, right? So your blood flow and growing new brain cells. And getting out of your own way and see, like, you're working on your energy. And there are certain things that in this life is going to be unfair. But you're going to look at that unfair. And you're going to be like, I'm not going to go in there. I participate over here. And you shut down the nuances because you have to. Because you want to. Because it's the only way. It doesn't mean that that makes that nuance right. It doesn't mean that that nuance gets away with whatever that nuance is. What that means is my participation in that nuance does not need to be. And so now, in my cognitive functioning, the solution being fill in the blanks. You know what the fuck you need not to do and do? Come on. It's like washing dishes. Nobody wants to wash the dishes. Dishwashers are great, right? But let's say you don't got a dishwasher, right? Let's say you don't got one. The dishes got to be washed, right? So you got to wash them, right? So, but look at this, the wheel of fortune. Something in October, July, August too. Some interesting stuff, right? But so working on on your consistency with better habits are creating new opportunities for you to activate. There's a lot of like this Pluto quantum bomb being lit off here on Earth, right? It's so that the people that may have suppressed themselves for far too long have this energy being let out into the universe that can be felt now, that encourages that breaking away from one's own self-imposed chain. You gotta get out of your own way first. That's the first step, right? Being tired of your own shit. It's always gonna be the first step. If you're still pointing, you haven't gotten to that point. Being tired of your own shit because you haven't held yourself fully accountable for your own shit. Because if you're still so quick to be pointing at everything, peace do not exist in your being. Because there's always going to be something, someone, some fucking other mother fudge, chicka, 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 boom, boom, bang. that's like that reading. Watch all my videos. But where it was like this fork in the road. You could continue to repeat the same cycle of complaint department, right? Or whatever it is. Not being happy, being disappointed, being depressed, being suppressed, being oppressed, not doing something different, not doing what scares you, not saying what you feel. Oh my gosh, I was talking about that in one of my vlogs. That we've grown so accustomed to not really saying how we feel and not really saying what we want to say. How many conversations do we have in our mind about something we wish we let out or said at some given opportune of a time that we didn't say that time? How many regrets are we going to continue to make by being quiet and not saying that which we want to say? How many times are we going to live with regret to not go and at least try our best? How many times are we going to stand in our own way and say, okay, here, you have the reins to my fucking chains. I leave it to you. Fate, the numbers, astrology, God. Maybe not have faith, but have none. In a world that doesn't feel safe. In a world that isn't always kind. So we can have this complaint. For all of the rest of our lives, we have this cycle. And we have this portal. And something's going through that portal. What cycle are you cycling? So this is like getting on that bike. And if you go to the gym and you do the bike, or if you actually are a biker, ride bike and you're pedaling, getting into that tunnel focus mode, right? Pedaling. Or if you do crunches, abs, or like, if you're into the gym and all this kind of stuff, you're on the elliptical, right? You're just this tunnel vision focus. That imagery of the portal, right? But here you are with your pentacle, with your stability, with your earthly tangible, what can be tangible here on earth. And you have the ability to expand Jupiter style up in here, right? Jupiter's taking that which what? Fill in the blank. And making that shit expand some more. And so you have this opportunity. How do I proceed, right? With all of this opportunity. 8. Some of you could be like number 8, right? Right? So there's so much like things that we can, so there, thank you. So the condition, right? So we're looking for resolution, a solution to certain kind of things. And so now we need to identify chronic stress. I think that's relatable, right? That's what causes the anxiety. That's what causes the worry, the unnecessary fear, right? Existing, right? And so chronic stress is harmful to our brain, right? Right? So think about the cerebral tissue that surrounds the brain, right? That's fatty tissue, right? And so these are where our neurons, right? This is where our neurons connect. I'm trying to very simplify what I see all in my mind, but right? So when there are imbalances existing, just think about the cerebral part of our the tissue in our brain, the fatty part, right? What is you? What are you feeding this, right? And then because the brain too, right? Our brain generates real electricity, right? So think about that. If there's an imbalance in our brain, electric circuit, BR, we're electromagnetic. Like, don't just say these words. Like, it's now really understanding. How do you know you understand something? Is by your ability to explain that something in your own words. So that's one way to not let something go. When I want to grasp information, this is a key study habit of mine, okay? In anything that I do, especially in research or reading, because I know myself though. You don't have to be this way. You can grasp it all at once. I know that I am all over the place. And because of the way that my mind works and the multidimensionalities and the things that I'm opening up, I'm like, and aware of them all. It can be a lot, right? Open channel here, able to see, observe, all this kind of stuff. They can get a lot chaotic. So it's like squirrel, I'm distracted, right? So to hone in and to the ability to really practice paying the fuck attention and really absorbing certain kind of things that I want to absorb. I reread. Like if let's say we're reading, right? Like reading something. You can read fast. It doesn't matter about the speed of your read and all. I can read really fast. Does that mean then we retain all the information? For some people, yeah. Depending on your leveling of read and ability to grasp, the most part we can read fast. I can read fast and I can absorb a lot. But when I really want to grasp something, I want to be able to explain this myself. I reread. I reread. I don't know, maybe that's for somebody. Don't just leave a page with oh, it came in one ear and out the other type of mentality. That's how you'll know that you grab something. Your ability to articulate that something is your acknowledgement to knowing that, wow, I do understand that. My ability to explain it back to you tells me that I do understand that, right? Excellent taking skills, the ability to be able to answer the same fucking question 100 million ways and not switch up your answer because you got a little confused because they asked the question in a different kind of way that just they changed one word. So it's your ability to understand, process information and articulate it back, right? So rebuilding healthy habits is an external thing that we can do, right, to help us get a brain recharge, rejuvenate, recalibrate, get yourself out of a brain fog, type of element, right? So like simple stuff like that is like going outside, right? Just go the fuck outside. Go where there's trees and grass and go fucking ground yourself. You can't find trees and grass if there's a beach, a stream, a water, some place that makes you smile. Go to a doggy park or something. Go to a zoo. I don't fucking know. Go to a zoo. Go to a zoo. This week's theme is zoo and yoga for the kids. Right? Two of hearts, right? I mean, two of hearts, two of cups. That's what I saw, right? I'm sweating on my legs. Right? So you can go outside. You can take a walk. Oh my gosh, you can definitely go subscribe to Enchantress on Instagram. That's always gonna make you feel better. That's me, right? At Enchantress, ENCHANTRESS. That's right. That's me. Don't want and only, right? You like how I threw that in there? I didn't even know I was gonna throw that in there, but that's how I threw it in there. Right. You can also subscribe for 99 cents and get a lot of DIY strategy, a lot of different exclusive material that is shared only over there, exclusively over there, just for those over there. And it's only 99 cents, a token of appreciation for the amount of mana that I give. That is way more than that. And it's not about the money, it's just the token of respect in that exchange. It's an energy exchange, and I will not be drained anymore or allow myself to be drained. And it's like I said, it's not about the money, it's just a token. I want everybody to be able to come through that door that wants it. You know what I'm saying? Like 99 cents is affordable for everybody's bracket. Just go. You know what I'm saying? So it's a pentacle. That's just a token. That's what I was saying, Spirit. I was talking about the token of love that be over there. Open the door, go through. You know what I'm saying? It's just like drink from the cup. I don't mind now. You pay 99 cents to get it. Now I'm not complaining. It's like, okay, well, you know, they access through the door and all the information that I love thinking because I'm an overgiver. My love language is over. Like I gift giving. I like I'm adoration. Like I when I love, right? That's like that Pisces moon, like love bomb, right? Kind of thing, because that's my love language. I like those that I love and care for to feel good. I want to adore you. I want to pamper you. I want to make you feel good. I want you to feel loved. I want you to know that. And this too comes, I'm getting emotional, but it comes to from losing my mother at such a young age. Like, these are one of the hard lessons of life I've learned. Like, it's just being real. Like, I want to know that if I died today, you know I loved you, you know? And there's no question mark. And you would have known me. You know what I mean? No question mark. See, like, when my mom died, I have so many questions. So many questions, and it doesn't matter how intuitive you can be. It doesn't matter how much downloads you can get. It doesn't matter. It's not the same. That's why it's so important to appreciate the people you have, even if they're not the best. You know? And maybe that's made me a sucker at forgiveness. But the difference, one of these life lessons that I've seen, that I've learned about forgiveness, is I've seen people that don't forgive, and I don't want to be in that position. So I'm kind of really grateful for my sucker position of being able to forgive. I see, even though it's painful, doesn't mean, just because you forgive doesn't mean that your pain gets stripped away. It does in a way, you know, it's not the same. But damn, you still got stabbed, you still got shot, you bleeding. You're still bleeding. You know, and people think, right, the 10 of Wands type of shit, right? People think that, oh, well, she got through that. Yo, I still fucking bled, asshole. You know what I mean? People have the audacity. Eight of Pentacles, but you working on your shit. I think my vlog is right now because I'm like in total inner shock right now. Like, I know that I cry a lot, like, but like I just feel more open in my own vulnerability. And I'm proud of myself. You know what I mean? And I want you to be proud of yourself. So like legit, I'm like, why the fuck am I here? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many people that will act like they care about you and want what's best for you, but it'd be true. People don't want you doing once you look like a little bit better than them or something like that. Like, they totally flip the script. I have been so dumb and so naive to connect with people and really connect, because we see as we are, legit. But that don't mean it's true. especially when it has to do with like other people too. And I've been like where it feels like, wow, like damn, like I thought you want to be happy for me. Like, I'm like, because I like, like I don't understand that language. Right. And so it gets sad, right, when you can't connect with people because it's not that, oh my God, you got everything. Some of these people have more than I do, like way fucking more. And I've been nothing, like, right? Like you could play, like, anyway, it's not even about that, but I just if there's anything that you're gonna get from me in any and all my videos, is that energy of alchemy of like, don't fuck with me type of thing. And that's the place that you should be, with an open heart, sweet as can be, the like, because it's sweet. Like there's no reason to be a bitch. I don't like that, like that culture, like bad bitch. I'm not a bad bitch, but I'm a bad bitch. Try me. Right, something like that. I hope that makes sense. But you get what I'm saying? Like, I'm not a bad bitch, right? But like that culture, that era, that feminist stuff, like, or bad mouthing men, and just, it's part of the fucking war, you idiots. What I want to say, shouting from the rooftop, if you are any of these kind of things, you are part of the fucking problem. You are part of the fucking problem. The fact that you are talking about, I'm a soul, I'm a spiritual person, but I'm black, I'm white, I'm green, with envy, right? I know, right? So it's just like, what the fuck do you speak? You gonna come back in the next life Chinese, like what the fuck, or fucking like Mexican, blah, white, this, that. If you are so having a fucking human experience, you got no color. How many times I have to say this? Yes, you could be proud in this life of whatever culture you come into and all this kind of stuff, but understand, you turn to dust, and then spirit here, genie in a bottle. Am I being clear? What shall you be in this next lifetime? You see, whatever it is that you decide to be, because energy is energy, and once energy is created, it can never be destroyed, only transformed, or infused into something else, or something. It grows, expands, it does all this other kind of shit, but it never can be destroyed, especially after its birth. So what the fuck are you? Because you are more than this body. So how can you be a color? Understand? The devil. That explains it. The devil came up in here and was like, yo, I'm gonna tell everybody they are color, and that they gotta own this color, and that anybody else that's not their color, they're better than that color. Do you hear how stupid the devil sounds? Be proud of your heritage. Understand that you have more. Be proud of them all. There goes the fucking rainbow, right? Now we got this fucking crazy shit going on in this fucking world that's beyond stupidity, right? That's this plutonic fucking plague, right? Life path number 4 too. Could have been born on a day 4, the 7 of Wands, but this combat too, right? In this, but look at this past life, right? I'm gonna look at that like past life, right? Because 6 of Cups is like past life, soulmate kind of stuff. Your relationship with your own fucking past lives. Your relationship with your own past lives. Like, whether you believe in stuff like that, I'm not here to tell you what to believe in. Believe in whatever the fuck you want to believe in. But if you're gonna sit here and you're gonna tell me that you're a soul, then you have to not believe in so much of this human experience, because you can't fight this human experience. And I don't want to even get into that, but I wanted to grow. If somebody wants to have a debate with me or talk about it or wants me to expand on it more, I don't want to ruin my mood. Right? Newspaper scribe, right? So this is past lives, right? So some of you might feel very called to express, right? To express through writing, through reading, through expression, through art, through painting, right? Creative ideas flow naturally to you, right? They flow naturally to you. You seek out knowledge to share with others, right? And that be your spirit, right? So be careful. Look at the challenges of that, right? It's being careful of jealousy, right? Unable to accept and appreciate yourself is another challenge. And being prone to like getting lost in like gossip and stuff like that too, and things like that. Like, we can't be, that was like the fork in the road choice. I'm going all over the place because I'm trying to get away from this. I shouldn't fight it, right? Messenger. What? I shouldn't fight it. Messenger. Communication gifted, writer, author, trainer, broad-minded and intelligent. Right? May need to reclaim personal power. You need to reclaim your personal power, right? And flexible tendencies to be lazy or unmotivated. And that too, right? The stripping of that lack thereof motivation, that stripping. So that's how I feel, I guess, too. I don't know. But since I've been blogging, I even feel different here right now. Like even though I'm just being myself. So I go all over the place and all kinds of stuff. I'm just being myself. But there's a major transformation happening in our life in a very personal way. And there's a depth that needs to be allowed to go through, right? It's like for the resurrection of you, right? And so it's like the infusion, it's like learning. It's learning more about yourself through the adversity. It's learning more about yourself through the challenge. It's learning more about yourself through the resistance. It's learning more about yourself through the poverty. It's learning more about yourself through the rejection. It's learning more about yourself through all these feelings that are coming up that are asking you to look at them, to feel them out, to understand them better, to understand them better, right? So that this rebirth, right, without any animosity, right? You don't want to bring that in through to your portal of sunshine, of expansion. Like, don't expand toxic shit. Address the toxic shit, even if it hurts, because you know what? That's the only way, right? And so reclaiming your personal power and making right with your truth, the Ace of Swords, right? Reclaiming your personal power with your truth and your love, your own self-love, your own nourishment, your own care, right? And how you you reclaim your power and what that means for you and what that pretends to not like. I think that one of the biggest like trickeries in this life is people feeling like they have to have some kind of self-identity. It's tricky because yeah, you have to be your authentic self, but the self-identity comes from the human perspective. And I think that we rob like truth, right? We rob Six of Pentacles, right? And we bring this balance, right? This balancing act, right? For yourself. But like it's just like parenting, right? I find it so sad when I see parents push their kids to the extreme, making them feel like they're supposed to know what they want to do. Like this whole educational system, you go from elementary to junior high to high school to college, and then further and beyond if you want. And then like I remember when I started college, I changed my major so many times, and I saw people stick to a major, right? And I felt like I felt dumb. I felt like why I can't make up my mind. And it made me feel even more outcasted because I keep just taking classes that are of interest to me. So when people were asking me, right, like my first like couple of years of college, I was just taking it was wild. And I would have these counselors, like, when they would like, you're taking classes that don't make sense. Like, what are you majoring in? And I'm like, liberal arts. Like, I don't know what to change. There was even one point I changed it to liberal arts so that leave me the fuck alone so I can just take whatever. I'm trying to figure it out. I even took archaeology. I took I took a lot of stuff that didn't pertain to anything except interest. Like, I would read the school books of the classes, the courses that were, and I'm like, I want to take this, I want to take this, and I want to take this. And for me, that was awesome. But to everyone else, it lacked direction, lack of focus. Like, Jennifer, you're wasting college money, and I felt like failure because wow, these people are getting degrees and all this kind of stuff. I can't even stick to one thing because I'm doing all this wild shit, wild card, gypsy shit, right? Like whatever. But let me tell you, flash forward 20 years later, whatever the case may be, I'm so grateful for that life of educational experience. And I'm glad that I did what I wanted because I learned so much more. And I see people now who maybe stuck it out and they're miserable. They're not doing what they love, or they end up changing or having this like midlife crisis, or they're stuck in a job or in a rut or on the system collecting, benefits or this and that or disabilities and all this kind of stuff. And nobody's doing what they love. And that's sad. And going back to the kids, like, and in understanding this and having a daughter of my own, I was adamant. I don't ever want her to feel like she needs to, that she has to have it all figured out. I'm still figuring it out. And so the last thing I would ever want to put on her is pressure to have that all figured out. No, we're a team. We're family. I've got you. And so, and then you get to the age where we got each other. Different now. Granted, I got her a mama, but it's a unit. It's a family. It's an opportunity. Like, she doesn't even feel the need to have to run off. Like, kids her age can't wait to leave their house. Hate it at home. The home for so many of them is hell. And so many of them got so many responsibilities that they're helping their families pay bills and do this. And they're like working full time and going to school or trying to go to school. And that's a struggle. And I just find that so sad. Because we should support our kids. until they're fucking ready. And I'm not saying, oh my God, and then people will be like, oh my God, what about a 50-year-old adult? We're not talking about that. And if you're starting it from, like, it's like, you think about the foundation you're growing them on. My daughter has dreams, ambitions, and goals. Like, why the fuck would she ever want to stay with me forever? And I have to get myself into the position too that if she didn't, we can have our own fantasies about what it is that we're gonna how, but there's no urgency, there's no pressure, and there's just peace and harmony. And for those that come from disharmony and toxic and chaos, I come from chaos. Peace feels good. It might seem a little boring at times for those that get bored. I don't get bored because there's always something to do. And I'm so like creatively inspired. There's stuff that I have a wait list for, like, because I'm trying to get through all the things. So there's always something to do. You know what I mean? So I don't understand boredom. I don't understand how anyone can ever be bored, like, ever. I don't understand that. But I understand it in the world that we're in. Like, you get it. Like, I get it, but I don't get it. I don't relate. Okay. Right. So, and so these are the kind of activations that happen here. That type of ripple effect of alchemy and harmony and peace too. I just want to add, because we were on my many unfinished sentences. I'm aware of that. I don't need anybody to point that out for me. If there's ever a sentence that you want me to finish and articulate on, then fucking ask me. Don't point out, hey, you don't finish certain sentences. That's because my mind is, and I'm speaking about whatever the fuck I want. If you want to have a conversation, then let's have a conversation. That I love, but don't try to shame me or play me on my own channel too. Like, fuck out of here. Because that used to be like that too. People used to, like, talking about, like, when you start sharing stuff or you say something and people just have their opinion. Like, who asked you about your opinion? How about try talking to me, like engaging with me in a conversation instead of trying to tell me about myself or give me your opinion about what you like. Yeah, give me your opinion respectfully and all this kind of stuff. But just, the way people try to come out sideways and stuff like that. There's just ways to talk and communicate, and I look for healthy, wealthy, stealthy ways that are going to be beneficial to all of us and stuff like that. And so even though I'm colorful in my own ways of expression, and plus I'm in it, I entertain too. Like, that's part of my journey. I've always been entertaining. There's no denial about that. Since childhood, I even was in plays, stars of the plays, always got the lead roles in the plays, jokester for days, participating in talent shows, things like that, doing things like that, acting, just a whole bunch of chorus, like, entertain, play piano, like, entertain, do shows, entertain, put on performances in different schools, entertain. It's part of it for me. I love it. It comes out naturally. Poetry. I speak, I dance, I move. It's art. It's flow. And I encourage that. And others too, to find it within themselves. That's why I love working with children. They're more impressionable because they're open to silly. They're open to happy. They're open to trying new things without judgment too. They're open to that type of stuff. And so it just, I find it much more peaceful. I've worked with people, adults. Like, that's how I raised my daughter, right? In the fashion industry and stuff like that. I'm very thankful, grateful for the opportunities that I was given, and for the time that I was raising my daughter and doing those kind of things, I was very fortunate to land in that industry that is very competitive and hard to get into, and that's God for you, right? That's when, and let me tell you that story. So this was a time that I was like in between jobs, and I really, my daughter was young. Um, I'm like a wonderful employee. I do really, really well, but high school diploma, not finished with college, young child. I didn't want to fall under the statistics, and I was falling into those statistics of, single parent, all this kind of stuff, need to whatever. And, but I always got good jobs. But single mother raising her daughter, like, it's just not enough. You need more money. You need more money. So I'm ambitious, and that's how I've always been. And so if the place that I'm at is not meeting my requirements or my needs, especially when I know that I'm giving a lot more, I believed in me. Like, I have to do it for my kid. Like, that's just my mentality. And I was just like, I have to do better than this. And so I would be working, like, and this time before I got into the fashion industry, I was working at this college, a performing arts college, a prestigious performing arts college, by the way, in the city, in the Upper East Side of Manhattan, right? The sun, right? The sun is coming back out. You see me, I'm shuffling and all this kind of shit. The sun just fell out, right? Right? This portal. You're gonna stay focused on this portal. But there was a girl in that job that had it in for me, and she happened to be like the manager and stuff like that or whatever, because she was messing with students as an employee there and stuff like that. And one of the students' judgment, right, that she was messing with, because this is real talk, liked me, and she had it in for me after that. But mind you, her little dirty secret of messing with a fucking student as a supervisor there could get her in very much trouble. And instead, mind you, I kept that secret because why, right? Why? That's another thing too, right? I think about that. And she also tried to ruin my relationship with my ex-best friend at that time by talking bad about me behind her, like behind my back, obviously, because never to my face, because to my face was like, hi. Real talk, right? And so she instead chose to make my life a living hell at this college. So I contemplated jail time. This bitch don't fucking know, right? I'm just kidding. I don't want to go to jail. I'm a single mother, and I have to be responsible. But like, before, I would have lost my cool because she was this close to getting knocked the fuck out, and so I didn't want to bring myself there. Like, that's on some real talk. And then at that time too, we'll talk more about this in my blog, actually. So the lovers, right? There was just a lot of stuff going on. My daughter was like maybe, how old was she? I don't know, but she was a baby. She was young. She was young. She was young. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 3, 1, 2. Around there, I don't know. She's 22 now. Okay, so just understand it's a very long time ago. This didn't happen just the other day. This was a long ass time ago. King Cups, Ace of Wands, somebody coming at you. Hard on, strong. It's okay to be attractive, and it's okay to be desirable, and it's okay to be delicious, because that is what it is. So you got people that are upset that you're desirable, or like that people be bothered by your cuteness, by your shininess, your charm, like whatever your siren call is, whatever it is, like. But people don't ever think about, people be like, oh, pretty privilege or things like that, but that shit is lonely too, and that shit is a lot. Like, you deal with a hell of a lot of fucking hate, unnecessary hate, that that doesn't feel good and it's not nice, and you got to be extra, like, you know, people pleasing and accommodating to let people know that, oh, I don't think I'm better than you, or I think I'm prettier than you, or I'm thinking this and this and this and that. And it's just a hell of a lot of fucking work to work with a lot of other motherfucking people's insecurities out there that will fucking drain, deplete, and fucking cause you to suppress, oppress yourself just to fucking excuse them for their toxicities. We're not doing that no more, right? So anyway, so before she would have got knocked out, I did her a favor and I started looking for another job. And that's just how it gets the ball rolling, right? I wasn't meant to be there. Like, it was time for me to go. And so from that job. From that job. But I wish her well. Like, and she was cancer. And you know that I love my cancers. My mom is cancer. But there's that pick me type of shit, and that victimization when they're toxic cancer, that victimization, and then to that catty and gossipy, like, you know, whatever, and just bitchy, very bitchy, right? Type of attitude, like, just about stuff. And then the guy didn't make it any better because he would openly flirt in front of her towards me, or like let's say if I walk in and be like, hey Jennifer, like, oh my god, you know, and I giggle. So, but it is what it is at the end of the day. The Chariot. Okay, the King of Cups. Okay, some love shit coming up here. See, I'm just gonna let whatever comes up and stuff like that come up. But this King of Cups, but this could also be love, right? In your own masculine love energy, like showing yourself love. If this is self-love and this is self-respect, right? And it's giving yourself, it's pouring into yourself. And if this isn't a relationship, this is someone pouring like a masculine energy, or if you're masculine, this is you pouring your cup of love into, right, into someone else, or wanting to, desiring to, or realizing that that's what you want to, right? You know, because you could be, so it doesn't matter, it's not gender specific, but this could be that you're in the energy of wanting to express your love. And then if that comes out creatively, then let that be. If that comes out affectionately in relationships, intimacies, then let that be. Or if let's say you're single, my celibate crew, my abstinence out there, those that of you that are celibate, abstinence, and know your worth. And this is again not to insult anybody that's not abstinent, or anybody that's out there sleeping around or being promiscuous and all this kind of stuff. That's your choice. My choice of being used this way, okay, is not to throw shade at you. I got my celibacy and my abstinence and my years of this practice, and doing how I do and whatever the case may be, is not to throw shade at any fucking body. It's my healthiness, it's my wealthiness, it's my stealthiness, it's my personal choice, it's my prerogative. And so I'm also growing tired of, because people would shame me for this too, like, oh, you think you're better than me type of attitude. Because if I bring it up, like, why the fuck I can't bring up my celibacy, my abstinence? Because most times when people come around and let's say they got their man next to them, they want to grab them a little bit, I don't want your fucking man. And I would never want disrespect. Two, I don't come in second. I don't play that second diddle fiddle with that type of shit. Like, that's how I really pridefully feel about that. I don't share. I don't want to share. I'm not interested in sharing. If you think, if I pick up on the energy that you're a shareable type of being, I don't care how much I like you. You cannot penetrate this goddessness divine alchemized within her shrine. Like, I don't play that. That is my history. That is not up for mystery. That is the way that it fucking is. I'm not saying I've never had sex before. Obviously, I got a fucking kid out of wedlock. Because then people will be like, oh, but out of wedlock, fuck you with your fucking judgments too. Like the fact that you could come and try to shame somebody for having a baby out of wedlock and all this kind of stuff. I'm not saying it's good. I think you should be married. It would be nice, right? Right, like to have that unit, that's the very, like, in that statistic, that's where I come from, that broken family unit. And so therefore I repeated the same cycle, but I stopped that shit. I know my daughter's here for a reason, and that's why she's here. She got purpose, and I'm here to help her fulfill that purpose. She could only fulfill it for herself, but granted, I'm here as her mother for as long as I can be here for her. And so I don't take that back. I don't regret that. I didn't go around and keep having motherfucking kids. Not knocking anybody that did. I'm just saying that's where I'm at, which allowed me to be very reserved and selective about who I sleep with. Period. And who meets my kid. Period. Check out my blog, because we got some stories that we're going to be sharing and stuff like that, especially about how they really try to break your family. Spiritual warfare. We want to talk about spiritual warfare and how they even come after your fucking kids. And for those of you that don't have kids yet, you were that kid they went after before. This is generational conditioning. Right? So anyways, I'm not saying I'm better. I'm just saying this is my lifestyle. Like, what the fuck? I can talk about it. And I can big up to those of you that be out there doing the same thing, being celibate and abstinent, whether you male or fucking female, knowing your position. And it's not, and I'm not talking about kinks. See, now, here we go, because just because you're celibate and abstinent doesn't mean you're not kinky. And it doesn't mean you have kinks and don't have kinks and preferences. I'm not, whatever the case may be. So people have certain lifestyle choices that they don't mind. I'm not talking to you about, like, those are people, because there's conscious people that have a certain lifestyle preference and choice. And as long as, they're not manipulating or lying to people and ruining lives, then by all means, live your lifestyle how you want to live your lifestyle. I'm not here to judge you. Like, that's to each their own, right? But for those of you that just, like, I'm sapiosexual. I don't give a fuck how fly you look, how good you look, what you will be surprised what I have turned down in this lifetime. I don't give a fuck who you are. Real talk. I will not, like, I'm not a toy. I don't care how freaky deaky, how kinky, how charming and how sexual and sensual I am. That's reserved. And that's now and too, in my position, like, of all these years now being celibate and abstinent and stuff like that, is because I'm not wasting my time. Like, if it's not in it, it's like I don't know what we're doing this. And so that means that I'm gonna have passing love affairs like every 10 years or so, and have some kind of thing. And I don't know what my path is in that yet, like, in terms of whatever. But anyway, I don't want to talk about me no more. Four of Wands, right? Eight of Wands here too, right? So there's like, you should 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 is 3. Holy Trinity, right? So you have this balancing of your own masculinity, femininity, and the harmony created in that trine, right? That has you activated in some kind of way that now this portal is here for you to walk through. The purpose of this video is to bring more conscious awareness into your own conscious awareness about how you're walking through this electromagnetic pulsating time that's rippling, affecting everyone's lives. So, Four of Swords, right? Rest, rejuvenate, sit up straight, relax your body, do some yoga, detox, go for a walk, spend time out in nature, go for a swim, exercise, eat healthier, drink lots of water. Write with your non-dominant hand. Brainwave cellular upgrades. You want to get some brainwave strengthening exercises in. Write with the hand you don't write with. Now, you lefties out there. Chances are you know how to write a little bit with your right hand too. So this applies to you too, because it doesn't mean unless you're like fluid in both ambidextrous, like, and you know, but still write with your toes. Ever wrote with your toes? Hold it, man. Write with your toes. Right with your toes. Yeah, this is right with your toes, right? So yeah. So see, so like there's something to, it could have been more in 1998, 1989. It could be life path number 8, life path number 6, life path number 9. Sorry. So 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 for those of you that have been going through chronic stress in some kind of way, unpleasant thoughts, feeling spiritually attacked, feeling like if people are doing witchcraft on you or spell work and stuff like that, that it works in some kind of way, but you're not going to give them the benefit. But understand that your thought alone is affected when you think like that, right? When you're giving the power to the power that you feel outside of yourself and stuff like that, right? So so for those of you that might be going through some illnesses and ailments and things that worry you, right? Mm, 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 mm. So for those of you that go through certain chronic stresses, that's what I'm gonna put, everything is gonna be under the umbrella of chronic stress, right? You're not right here, whole, right? You're working on the pieces, but still there's pieces to fill, pieces to tend to. So let this video take with you with this video. And definitely if you want to connect with me more, it's a great opportunity time to connect with me more, especially if you want to work with me too. You need me? It's interesting because my daughter came out here and she's like, when are you going to be done? So I can be out here freely. And I'm like, who said that you couldn't? Right? And so that made me think about the sentiment of like taking up space in a world that there's plenty of space, right? Where you might feel like that person's on stage, you can't be on stage at the same time, like upstaging or all this kind of stuff. But it's not like that. That's something that's like man imposed, human imposed, like that thought process that's imposed. But if you think about space and all the expansiveness of everything that is linear and all this kind of stuff, everything infinite and expansive. And so if you can get yourself out of this box space of thoughts, right, where you realize this, all the world is a stage. Just know your role, know your play, know your script, write your script, be your role, know your act type of thing. Hold on. So that way, when there is disruption, right? When you know your role, know your act, know your script, know your play, know that all the world's a stage, you're not losing your footing, you're not losing your space, you're not becoming unstable, right? And you're not cycling or digressing and stuff like that. Like you're actually improving and you're actually infusing and you're actually flowing and you're fluid, right? And you're open to every single experience in that kind of way. But looking like the Empress, right? Um, accepting the flowers, taking up space, um, being gracious too, right? But you got to surrender to that, because right underneath the Empress is the Hangman, right? The Hangman, right? Surrendering to that which, and not resisting it. So like being called to do something and still hindering yourself. Or like it could be, your birthday could be December 3rd to December 8th as well. So it's like holding yourself back still. Like, so this portal that's here and stuff like that, like you don't want to hold yourself back. Your birthday could be August 3rd to August 12th. That could, it doesn't have to be, it could be life path 8, 3, 2, or 1. Life path 6, right? The Knight of Pentacles, right? And right on the piece, all of that too. Like it's like that takes time. We're talking about the pentacles. Watch all my videos, because when you do, when I speak continuously, because infinite be this flow, this channel too, right? So infinite is to grow. Even when I end an episode of anything on my channel, it's continuous. So the next episode is continuous from that where which I left off, even if the topic is something different. So when I was talking about the tarot cards and just the suit of pentacles itself, the suit of pentacles is the only tangible thing from the tarot, because all the other suits are intangible elements, right? So pentacles, that's why it takes so long, right? Because it's an earthly element and it takes time to create, right? The swords is mental, that's how we think. That's not, it's in, right? Cups is emotion, fire, the same thing. But the Hermit, right? So it's like going in, it's introspecting, it's reflecting, but going in, it's painful for a lot of people because they got the Three of Swords behind that, right? So it's going in is painful, but look at realizing that you are the magician. So here comes this choice again, here comes this fork in the road. It's like, yes, granted, there's certain shit out there that can be very painful, right? But what are you holding on to? The pain, the hurt, truth? You're waiting for the sorry? You're waiting for someone else to validate your pain, your hurt? What's going to make the pain and hurt go away? And somebody saying nothing is going to make it go away. I understand that. That's how I felt, especially after my mom died. There was nothing that anybody was going to be able to say that was going to, wow, all right, thank you. That was going to take back what just happened, that was not, that couldn't be taken back. Like people could say things, hurt you, and you could take that back. Even if the person doesn't want to accept your apology or stuff like that, you can still take back words, right? You take back things. Somebody gives you something, I take that back. I want that Indian gift, right? I take that back. But in this realm of existence, when someone dies, you can't take that back. They're gone. They left this realm. And now you gotta pay the piper of having had emotions towards anyone that can hurt you in such a way as to that their passing would cause you grief. How dare they, right? That's just life. We're not exempt. Those that could be even orphaned are if they know about them being orphaned, feel like orphans and abandoned, like these abandonment issues they have that can cause a lot of pain, right? Friendships, failed friendships, the betrayals, like all these kind of things. We can hold on to that, right? I'm so thankful and I'm so grateful because I've heard, like I've been, like I said, I'm lucky to be here, right? And that I was in an abusive relationship. And it could have been the death of me, right? And even after leaving and getting up the courage and finding the strength to break the cycle, right? And never repeat that again. Like even when that all went down, I didn't hate men, and I didn't like put all men in the same box. You understand what I'm saying? Like, but I know that people, when they break up, they'll put, oh, I don't mess with this. I jokingly had said like the astrological signs, like I ruled all the astrological signs out. I was like, now the new astrological sign I have to come up because I out of the for whatever reason. Nothing that I dated every single astrological sign, but I'm just saying that in terms of when you get to know the astrological signs and their toxicities and their things and like that and all this kind of stuff, you swear off of some, right? Like, I'm not dealing with that. I'm not dealing with that. I'm not dealing with that. But that was jokingly, because obviously I've had informed friendships and relationships with people of those kinds again. Like, you get what I mean? Like, in healthier ways. So it was just funny. But, and a lot of people, when they get screwed, betrayed, or hurt, they close off to everything, to all types of experience, and they become hardened by that. And I find that sad, because although we can have shitty experiences, we shouldn't ruin the rest of our lives by those kind of thoughts, thinking that they're always going to repeat themselves in that kind of way, like, or that you have to, like, like now, like even too, like with friendships and things like that, and how I say it's sad that it's to build friendships with people that will end up like shading you in some kind of way because of their own levelings of insecurities, or where they're at in their own evolution in life, and it's just shitty, right? That you can't play nice, right? Like, and it's not even play nice because you play nice, but you just have to take allow people in micro dosages into your field before they ruin it for themselves. And I just think that's sad, So, and so if anything, if this channel is gonna bring, it's some leveling of alchemy within you, because it's just alchemy passing in here. This is a healing channel, so whether you accept it or not, it's healing alchemy sent your way, and that's it. It's just the seeds we breed, and everything. And so, I'm satisfied with that. But we got victory too, right? The Six of Wands now, right? After much struggle, after much challenge, after much being, because it comes after the five, right? The five is all about change, liberation. And then six is balance, right? So coming from being liberated, right? You have victory, right? And you have every amount of things to expect to come in, right? With this Three of Wands, right? So you have things coming in, you have things that are marinating, you have things that you're building, you have things that you're breeding, feeding, germinating, and there's a harvest, right? For that which you are creating. So be mindful about what you're creating, because even in our toxicities, right? So be careful with Queen of Pentacles coming here, because the devil's right behind her, right? So you got the devil always around, whether you want to see it like that, like, what, the devil's always gonna come. Like, the devil's here, the devil lives here, right? So you can still keep being mad that the devil lives here, but you're gonna do what you gotta do anyways, and you know what? Banish the devil. You know what I mean? So this Five of Pentacles, right? Being left, right? You're gonna have to leave behind, right? The same way that the devil, you feel like the devil has left you behind, rejected you, or shamed you, or ruined you, or hurt you, and all this kind of stuff. You have to break up with that feeling by doing the same, right? So it's like, canceling, I break up with you. I reject you. I release you. I let you go, I don't accept you. I don't want you. You know, I don't want, because you don't. It's bringing you pain. You want the grave? No, I don't want you. I release you. I don't want that addiction. I don't want that burden. I don't want that shame. I don't want that guilt. I don't want that. I don't want that. I release it. I let it go. Right? But you gotta let it go. Because the more that you keep entertaining and the more you look at this 10 of wands, right? This heavy burden, right? That you want to pass it to me? Hold on 1 second. Wait. Thank you, baby. Huh? It's delicious. Thank you. Families take care of one another. Period. Don't be like, oh my God, you know, even being fearful of saying something like that out loud, proudly standing your proud, the devil will make you feel like, don't say that, because then people are going to hate on that you're saying that. Let them hate over there. What power do you have your hate coming over here? Because I'm saying families are united and they help one another and all that kind of shit. If you want to fucking evil eye some fucking kind of shit, you mirror on the fucking wall, because who's gonna blast you with the truth after all? The mirror that you see standing here before me in motherfucking alchemy. And no, devil, you cannot proceed my way because you see my alchemy and delicious as it tastes. You can get the fuck out my face. Exactly. So it's about not giving your power away to the devil, right? And it's metaphorical, right? Figuratively, not so much literally, right? It's releasing. So like you're biohacking, like your own brain, right? This is how you can help yourself. If you can't help yourself with the reality of certain kind of things, you can't change people, other people outside of yourself, period. People have to learn for themselves. You have to learn to accept that too. But you have all these opportunities to biohack your brain. And what does that mean? Like when you biohack something, you're hacking it. You're intentionally hacking the biology, the neurology, the science, the neuroscience, where you're understanding the neuroscience of your own functions, and you are building off of that knowledge to benefit you. So you know what? I'm feeling kind of down right now. I'm a little bit depressed. I'm out of the dumps. I don't feel good. I don't see a solution for this. But I do know, because neuroscience proves, that if I go the fuck outside and I stand and I ground myself in some dirt, some grass, or go out in nature, go to the zoo, or go do something like that, it's going to stimulate me too. Even though I can't see past my hand from my face, I know that that's going to replace some of this depression that I feel inside. And so I'm going to biohack like myself, right? I'm going to biohack myself to better help myself so that I can get out of this funk, right? Or, fine, you're feeling a little shitty and all this kind of stuff, or whatever the case may be. So now you want to challenge your brain to change the neurochemistry, the neurons that are firing and connecting. I'm going to sit here and color right now. I'm going to color. Like that could be like, I'm going to paint. I'm going to draw. I'm going to write. I'm going to make a gratitude list. I'm going to dance. I'm going to sing at the top of my lungs. I'm going to stretch. I'm going to move. I'm going to clean. One more. Right? So you want to put these burdens down. And so you have to take that action. You have to leave behind certain things that you hold on to. And that too could be devilish things that keep you tied to the heavy that you don't need to carry anymore. You know what I mean? Jelly bean? Right? Tower. This tower keeps showing up. right? The King of Swords, because it's in you, you're in your truth, you're in your position of power too, right? Thank you so much for tapping in, turning on, tuning in with me. I appreciate each and every one of you. I know that this is going to be a long one, but fuck it, I'm on camera. You don't know when you're going to see me on camera again. Oh yeah, my blog. Definitely, please subscribe to my new YouTube channel, Enchantress the Babbler's Mystic at Mystic Muse blog. The link will be in the description box. Help me grow that too. It's gonna be, the reason I created it on another YouTube channel is because it's gonna be a different element, different vibe. It's way different than Enchantress the Babbler. There's not like, I'm not doing like tarot or anything like that. This is straight blogging, sharing with you my world and pieces of it in the way that I feel comfortable enough or inspired to do. It's me stripping and coming into my own in a new way, and it's new for me too. I don't know what's happening with it. All I know is I'm mad episodes in. So I'm going to be unleashing these episodes. Why not unleash these episodes? And each episode I keep getting deeper and deeper, and more vulnerable and more real. And it's been quite the experience. It's been very liberating. Like I add up everything to a singular digit, and my age adds up to 5 this year. So when people ask me how old I am, I'm 5 years old. And 5 is all about change, right? But it's a disruption. It's a disruption. It's an energy of disruption that leads to your freedom, your change, right? So yeah, it can be challenging, but it's worth it. It's worth it. It's worth it. Right? It's worth it. And I love that. Worth it. It's worth it. It's worth it. Happy fucking times are coming soon. 10 of Cups. Ooh, I'm burping now. Right? So get the fuck over it. Yo. I couldn't say it more clear myself. Actually, I couldn't because I'm the babbler. I say that shit long drawn out. I have you Gemini to tell me, oh, even my daughter, she's like, even with my video intros, and she'd be like, you see, that's too long, mom. That's too long. You already lost my interest. I'm done watching. And she won't watch my shit. She'd be like, so, and I love the opinion and I love her input and all this kind of stuff, but at the end of the day, I've learned to, like, I'm learning stuff, like, you know, to try to, you know, she's like, you got to get my attention, and I don't get her attention. But I'm not gonna stop being myself. That's where I get, like, so my rebellion, it's not rebellion either, it's just I don't care. I'm complying enough with, you know, and I'm doing it in my way, and I'm not trying to be like everybody else. But it's true, the attention span of, like, especially, like, I don't know the generational things, the Gen Zs or whatever the hell they call the whatever that are youth, like, you know, my daughter's age and all this kind of stuff. My babbling, it's hard for them to, like, right, because everything is fast, instant, hurry up. And I'm like, well, you know, and my daughter be like, get to the point. So she was a little girl. Like, when scolding time, like lecture, I use this as my grand opportunity for monologue. I was like, well, you should not let this come out then. And if you don't want to hear this and you don't want to go through this church right now, you shouldn't have gone there because this is my moment to take my stage to go and monologue this and stage this place because mama's here. That's what we do, right? And so it's been quite the journey, and it's just very interesting. And then even too, one of my ex close friends and stuff like that, she too is a Gemini, and it means to be like get to the point already. Get to the point, right? But Eight of Swords energy, getting out of your own way. Are you fucking crazy? Are you fucking crazy? Say no. I ain't fucking crazy. I'm real. I've gotten asked crazy, and you know when they stop asking me if I'm crazy? When I finally stopped feeling crazy, because that's how the world was trying to make me feel. When I was like, fuck this, no, I'm pretty sane. Insane in the memory, right? So use logic instead of following shitty advice. The Emperor, the Emperor keeps coming out. Watch all my videos. I don't know which video. Now I'm wondering, the Emperor, did it come out for subscribers? Or was it the wow? I don't know. But the Emperor keeps coming out in various docs and stuff like that. Use logic instead of following shitty advice. Goals. You're setting these goals for yourself, right? You're setting these goals. You're slaying these goals, right? This is the portal of truth, right? So your portal of truth of what it is that you're creating, what cycle of creation, what cycle of a new fucking opportunity is coming. Ace of Pentacles. Page of Swords. And the truth is, don't spit into the wind. It will come back to you. So that's what we're talking about, that portal shit, right? We're walking through this portal shit, right? So using logic, you're walking in like the emperor rules, the emperor fucking rules, right? And you're in your truth. And this opportunity that's here for you, right? Ace of Pentacles, holding it out. The Ace of Pentacles came out in the other deck too, right? And this Page of Swords, in your truth, but it's new for you, right? The Page is a student of life, of experience in this type of venue. Like this is a new venue for you. Right? So let's say, for those of you that might struggle with certain kind of depressions and all this kind of stuff, and you're an entrepreneur and things like that, or a creative of some sort and things like that, right? You're the emperor, you rule. But that doesn't mean that emotions don't come. It doesn't mean that shit doesn't happen. It doesn't mean that fucked up shit don't happen. Like, it doesn't mean that life is still happening, but you rule. And so this portal that we're talking about, right? It's like, also, you might have it all together on the outside, but now it's about having it together on the inside too. This is the stability that you're brewing, you're changing, you're shifting, you're transforming, you're even educating yourself about, right? So don't spit into the wind, it will come back onto you. So don't spit out that which you don't want to come back to you, right? So this portal that we keep walking through, right? It's real, right? It's because a kind motherfucker will help you. Because you're tapping in, turning on, tuning in. So the more that you chase after the devil, the more that kind motherfuckers will disappear from your electromagnetic field, because they ain't riding with the devil. Right? I think about that. I think about the peaceful environments that I have now found myself in, right? That come from different upbringings, different lifestyles, different ways of life, different ways of thought, different, like, schooling and all this kind of stuff. And you see the difference. You see how, like, very conservative, like, so it's like being conservative. Like, I'm very whimsical, so I don't think I can ever really be conservative, but I'm whimsical conservative. I'm whimsically conservative. I don't know if that's a new bracket of stuff, right? So that but wild and free, right? But whimsically conservative, but wild and free. wild, free, and truly liberated, right? Right, but this world, the way that people have now made the depiction of liberation and freedom and stuff like that, they've made everything so dirty, right? Everything is overly sexualized. Everything is of no respect. Like, I don't want to be like, granted, we want to be attractive, you want to be like whatever, but I don't want to be overly sexualized and all this kind of stuff, or disrespected in some kind of way. And I just feel like this world, like even with guys, like I see it with like hot dudes, right, like you'd be surprised, right, how lonely someone can be just because of their looks, you know what I mean? Because you never even know if somebody is after you because you just look good on their arm, or you look good on paper. And there's a lot of that. There's a lot of superficiality in this world, with like a guy thinks, oh, I got this girl on my arm that, you know, and then these unrealistic beauty standards that are not even real. Like you got girls promoting chopping up, dicing up their whole entire body to change what they look like, but they don't show you their scars, which add furthermore into that insecurity. Because just think about it, it's just psychological, it's just true. You got people that are insecure about certain kind of things, and then they do all these massive drastic changes to their bodies. What they don't show you is the scars, but the scars were always there because the wound was always open. Like instead of our society trying to help people to love themselves exactly as they are, whom they are, and loving themselves for exactly what whom they are, like, dude, this is who you are. If you believe in God and you believe in all this kind of stuff, then God don't make no mistakes. If you believe in that, right? So you're perfectly imperfect the way that you are. And so, and instead you got people, even the fucking, the like, the our I'm sorry, getting worked up too. Even our like psychologists and all this kind of stuff, like promoting like plastic surgeries, or changing someone's gender to heal the distortion in their mind about how they feel about themselves, that they don't feel like they belong. Like, how can further mutilation make you feel connected to your body, to that which you are, when you haven't even sorted out? If you've sorted out mentally and you still want to do that, then by all means do that. But if you haven't sorted it out mentally, emotionally, and then you go and mutilate, you're not doing yourself a service. You're further, you're just, you're, 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 you're pushing away. You're just, what's the word I'm looking for? You're prolonging the distortedness, the illness, the pain, the hurt, the disconnect, because you're distancing it with a superficial perceived, oh, this is my solution. But the problem was never that. And so you just have this society that you can't say anything because you get canceled. Like, if you speak your strong views on something that goes against what everybody, I'm not with popular opinion. I'm all for equality and all this kind of stuff, and like, but in a moralistic stand proud, and in a whole other different kind of way that lacks cruelty and shame too, and mutilation, and just all this fight for pretend liberation, but a lot of it is just distorted illness and mental disorders everywhere, you know. um and I say that with compassion. Everybody's free to want what they want, but if you're not in a healthy state of mind, spirit, wholeness place, how can you make such permanent changes to yourself and think that that's the solution? And then to think like, anyways, we'll talk about that in my vlog. So definitely go follow my vlog because we're gonna be talking about a lot of different things. And my thoughts on it, and just also my life, right? And inviting you into my world, like vlog number 2, which is coming to a theater near you soon. Definitely go check that out. It's a mommy and me experience that I'm sharing with you, right? Temperance. So you can have Sagittarius in your chart, Sagittarius sun, moon, rise, right? North node too. Time to create balance in your fucking life. Healing, massive fucking healing. Massive healing. Life path 5, change. You could be 41 years old. Right? There's also another thing I want to reach out to is the beautiful souls out there that do spread themselves out too thin because they want to be like the pick-me's, or they want to be loved and adored, and they're just giving themselves away. Be male or female, doesn't matter. You know what I mean? In ways that deplete you even more, you know, to have you want that sacred connection with yourself. Right. But that's what I was talking about. Like a lot of this whole overly sexualization has been like in a degrading kind of way, I feel. That has just created such a distortedness to all of it. Like, I don't know. But anyways, I start getting off. Go have a bowel movement. The problem will solve itself. Go take a shit and flush it down the drain, right? Whatever. Either way, let's end on some positive notes. Thank you so much for tapping in, tuning in with me. I am so thankful and grateful. Definitely read the description box to learn more how to connect with me in awesome ways. I appreciate you for being here. If you watched all the way through, wow, like you're on some evolutionary powerful journey. You are awesome in every kind of way. Make sure to like this video. It does help my channel to grow and helps the algorithms that, you know, I be finding there'd be so much stuff. Like anyways, like this technology, can't believe in numbers and all this kind of stuff and whatever, but I be finding interesting things everywhere. But either way, thank you if you do. Right? Friends know when friends need a social break and a place to snooze. Maybe you want to go take a nap. I love that. Naps are great. Right? I am gentle with my intentions and actions through life. My impact has ripple effects on my surroundings. Right? That's what we were talking about. Your actions have impacts on your surroundings. There are no rules. Oh, this is the intro part of how to use these cards. Okay. Sorry, there are no rules, but I like that, right? I like that sentiment. There are no rules to you doing anything, right? So customize your life in each and every way that you need to customize it for yourself. I want more. Wait. Friends know when friends need a social break in a place of snooze. Oh my gosh, so that's coming out again. Let's see if go make. If you want something, you gotta go make it yourself. Hold on. Oh. I am the architect of my life. I build its foundation, design its interior, and embrace its surroundings. Because of that, the view is always awesome. That's what I'm talking about. I like that one. Right? You're the architect of your own life. I am my own lucky star. I love that. Dreams guide your path within this universe. I may need an ink-readable spacesuit. Whatever that means to you. I am my own lucky star. Friends know when friends need to take a social break. Maybe you need to take a break. My obstacles are fading away and my path towards greatness is clear. I just have to work hard and steer clear of dark matter. Okay, dark matter. We'll talk about that on my blog too. Teamwork makes the dream work. Even the most different personalities can be on the same team and complement each other. I agree with that. Right? If you can work in harmony with those that are very different than you, then you can show that shows you how wonderful you are in your alchemy. Right? To be able to work with all personality types, like when it comes to work and all this kind of stuff, right? Your ability to lead and stuff like that is also your ability to get along and to speak in civilized manners to all parties and all different kind of developments and experiences and stuff like that. Your inability to communicate with different types of persons just because you have different beliefs or different opinions or different ways of doing things will only create further friction for you in your life and your lack of ability to express or find remedies for communicating. A lot of people shut down people instead of like good debate, right? Like a good debate, like you can have a good healthy debate, you can speak to each other with love and respect and be different in every capacity and way, right? It doesn't have to only just be your kind of way. But what can I say? So yeah, alrighty. Let's see. Oh, sorry. Make a choice. Fascinating or overanalyzing. Get clarity on what you desire and move forward. Too many options, too many addictions, too many time wasted being idle, doing nothing, right? Do something, right? Being unable or unwilling to make a decision. Follow your own heart rather than trying to make others happy. Pretending there is no problem, overanalyzing a situation, right? For whoever that applies for. And messages do we have for those tapped in, turned on, tuned in? Motivational. You are motivational, inspiring, theatrical, ambitious. Take a leadership role, right? Step into the spotlight. Public speaking, right? Keep your eyes on the bigger picture. Communicate your vision. Don't be sensitive to criticism. I love that. Awakening, right? A temporary pause for reflection and insight, an awakening where you see things in a whole new light. Embrace your own uniqueness. Charitable action. So there may be charitable actions made your way. Certain kind of people reaching out and stuff like that. Maybe like I hear agent, a manager, so a kind of expert in some kind of field that you're interested in or that you're in or industry that you're in and stuff like that. Right? Passionate, confident, charismatic, restless, events requiring immediate action. Trust your instincts. Stay focused. A passionate relationship too, bursting, right? Maybe in your career sector too. And for those of you that are in a career and you want compatibility, maybe a life partner of some sort and stuff like that. Think expansively. Think like it's possible, but don't like give yourself like, especially if you like, I don't need to like, some people jump from relationship to relationship. I don't think that's healthy. I don't think that that's the way. I'm not saying that people have never found success after jumping from relationship to relationship. Like that would be everybody has to do. Like anyways, I'm not saying any in all of that, but what I'm saying is that if you find yourself that, let's say you're interested in a relationship and it's just none of the relationships that were working out for you and you want one though, right? But you don't really give yourself, and I'm not talking about a couple of months, I'm talking about give yourself some time like, to yourself. And so maybe you dated someone a couple of months back and then you were single for like 2 or 3 months and then all of a sudden you start talking to somebody else again and that didn't work out, and then you're like 2 or 3 months saying, I'm talking to you there. If you're doing shit like that and stuff like that, take a break. Take a break for a year. Give yourself a year of not talking to anyone. Well, what? Shh. No. That person's not the one for you. And if they are, trust, they will be there. And you might change their life too. Wishes come true. Wishes come true, your dreams become reality. A magical time of life. Good fortune, faith in the universe that all will be well. Maybe some of you have given it a year. So be surprised. A year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, however long you've been celebrating. Trust me, you didn't top my years. And this one is not a competition, but I just promise that you do not. Because most people, when they hear my, they're like, how? Romance, flirtatious, introspective, fickle, falling in love, being swept off your feet, a sudden love affair, a lack of balance in a relationship, situations or topics that make your heart flutter, a love of art and poetry. So there's something brewing. So just keep being patient. Someone's coming in, right? Or a relationship is coming in, some kind of life partner, some kind of, or something is sparking between you and a life partner of some sort, or something is coming to light of some sort. Or it's just an interested party and there's a spark. Stop. Right? Stop. And this person might work hard to have multiple jobs, be like an entrepreneur, right? And so they may be, so it's like looking like they may have been wanting to look for a break too. Maybe they've been celibate too. That would be ideal, right? To meet another person that has not been with someone either in quite some time. I think that that's beautiful. And it's fucking possible because a high value man is not sleeping around. I promise you that much. And even if they have, like I'm saying, men and women are different and stuff, but I'm just saying a high value man is not spreading himself so thin either. And I know I said high value man, but high value women too. Real talk. Real fucking talk. Real talk. Right? So this person could be working a lot too. And if you're in that same bubble, you got a lot of things going on for yourself too. It's compatible because this person might be younger than you too, or have a lot on their plate, like business, like real, like something, right? Whoever this life partner is. And so the fact that, and they may be balancing a lot of things, and the fact that you're similar in that kind of stuff, there's a mutual understanding, a respect for what each other does. Like, you know what I mean? But somebody to, like, everybody wants the feeling aspect, and that's so somebody might be wanting more emotion from their partner too, I hear. Right? So that I hear, right? So there might be sadness with that, right? Um, so for those of you that are with someone that might be emotionally distant, they might have everything else, but there's just some kind of like emotional component missing. And it brings you great sadness because you might be, or some of you too might be going through something lost of some kind, right? So, but there's going to be a lot of personal growth from this, right? From this kind of challenge at this time, right? Healing certain kind of misunderstandings and being there for those in need and being, you might have an experience too that you feel supported in a hard time, and that might make you open your eyes up a little bit more about something, about what matters, Sometimes, we can get so hung up on what we think something's supposed to look like that we don't see the love language of other people. And then something happens and it makes you see with such clarity what is right before you and what is of high value and of importance to you, that shifts you in such a drastic, transformative way that everything changes. Because if nothing changes, nothing changes, right? All right. And sadness. All right, I'm gonna end it here because right, so I know we went all over the place on this channel today, but there was a lot covered, so bring your notebook always. I say that too. But there's a lot to unpack. If there's stuff that you want to further expand on, we can. Communication is a two-way street. If not, I'm gonna always do it freestyle-licious the way that I do, and however it comes out, and the pieces and parts that it comes out in. It's a puzzle piece for you to put together, my friends. Right? So I just want to thank you so much for being here. I was gonna say something. Right? Look at it. Stand up for yourself, right? Stand up for yourself and your beliefs, right? Have confidence in all that you do. Challenge those in power, but also choose your battles wisely, right? I'm going to read that again because it's worth repeating. Stand up for yourself and your beliefs. Have confidence. Challenge those in power, but also choose your battles wisely. Wise counsel. Unity with the spiritually minded community. You can find that here for sure. So I hope you subscribe. I hope you do come back. And I hope that you do feel the unity in this community, no matter whom you are. Okay? Ask the divine for help and trust the answers will come. Ask, knock, and the door shall open. Ask, and ye shall receive. Compare traditional methods with new ideas to see which is best for you. Always do what's best for you, right? What makes the better sense and stuff, right? Right? So don't fall victim. And look at the fucking sun card came again, right? We got the sun in 3 different decks, right? So we're going to do that one last, but don't fail to recognize a magical opportunity while it's here. This is that portal, right? Don't miss the point, right? See that which it is, okay? And don't live in a sea of denial, right? Don't be so distracted in your daily life too. Don't be sticking your nose in other people's places, up people's asses, that you don't need to be, right? Focus on you and your own creativity, your own expression, right? Never mind what other fucking people are doing. So fucking what, right? So fucking what? And let them say whatever they want to say. So fucking what? Let them say it on their own platform. Then let them have the balls to say your name on their platform in a way that's not a subliminal. They won't. They will not dare. They won't. Because phony be their lair. Okay? Calling a spade, right? Lost in your own world. Don't get so lost in your own world. It's time to wake up, right? Right? Because the sun is here. The sun, right? A time of great joy and success. Brilliant epiphanies that lead to magical opportunities. Plans that work out perfectly. Gratitude to the divine. I'm so thankful. I'm so grateful. I'm so thankful that I'm so grateful. I am so thankful. I am so grateful. I'm so thankful. I'm so grateful for everything. Right? Thank you so much for tapping in, turning on, tuning in. Till next time. Bye.